Hello, hello. Welcome everybody to the Ecliptic Spiritualist channel. It is October the 16th, 2019. It is Work Your Magic Wednesday. So what will you do with your magical practice this day? So this reading comes after pulling of my cards, words spoken over this channel, and much more that goes into this daily dose of the reading and astrological forecast. So let's drum roll. Now, we have got the Seven of Swords, the 10 of Swords, and then we've got the 10 of Staffs in reverse as a confirmation. Some reason I want to keep talking about this 7 of Swords, so it must be something else coming up. But the confirmation card for reversal is the 10 of Staffs. Now, what is the divine, the angels, and spirit guides saying to us this day? Well, at this time that you feel disappointment at a situation that has carried on to like a dilemma, and it has brought you on some thoughts of the investment and time that you have put into things. You feel as though overwhelmed because you did a lot of investing on ideas, investing into a dilemma of relationships. And there's a couple of combination of things going on. So you feel isolated, overwhelmed, and the decisions that you're making, you feel like they're either a burden to you that you've made, or you feel alone and just feel alone. And sometimes when you've made decisions and you're in a dilemma state, it can put you in a place of feeling like, oh, this is what's happened, and the 10 of Swords really gets into this through the Rider-Waite, shows you of the feeling of despair, of mental challenge, because it's just disappointment and feeling overwhelmed and making decisions and feeling like you're carrying a burden alone, and all of these type of aspects that we get when we feel disappointment, right? But as the clarifier is saying here, it's like you're carrying on the responsibilities of yourself and the rest of everybody that's tagged on to you. So, but the 10 of Staffs is the confirmation card that's saying that, you've been lifting up matters, but you feel drained emotionally and feel just scarced out, like, wow, this is just a lot going on, And so the title is Don't Diss Me. Don't diss me, man or woman. And the diss means disappointment. And you feel disappointed in others and disappointment even in yourself of dealing with some things, because it's brought about a lot of emotionalism and just burdens, and because there's a lot of decision making being done at this time. So it's bringing about drain. But how do we deal with disappointment? How do we deal with disappointment in life? So many of us, including myself, we've all have felt disappointment, haven't we? We felt disillusion at times, despair. And as a result, it falls into relationships with ourselves, with relationships on jobs, with family members, and even our career are scared. So it deals with disappointment. We all have this in our lives. We all experience it, me and you. Disappointment, disillusion, despair, But here is a sure thing that I was, let me get this out. This morning as I was going through the reading and seeing what was about disappointment. And so the angels and spirit guides brought out to me about Daniel. Daniel is in, I went to the Amplified this morning, and Daniel experienced a lot of disappointment. If you go into the Amplified Bible, 2 Chronicles 36, Daniel 1 through 7, and Daniel 1 through 21, Daniel experienced a lot of disappointment. We're going to use him as an example. Okay, his nation collapsed. He was part of a big nation. His nation collapsed. He was part of royalty. He had to be uprooted because there was a lot of despair, a lot of hardship, war that came on. But he was a survivor. He survived the disappointment. He dealt with a lot of disappointment, but he was a what? Overcomer. He overcame the disappointment. But the best way to read about this situation with Daniel is to go to the Amplified Bible. Now, one way that helped Daniel go through this disappointment and disillusion and despair was to do what? If you read this, go and read this today, is seek meditation. Seek words spoken of, prayer time daily to stay built up, for reassurance. Sometimes other people will not reassure you. So you have to take that meditate. You hear me say this every day. To meditate, words spoken, get into prayer, speak over yourself, prayer time, meditation, so that you can build yourself up and assure yourself when we go through times of disappointment, times of disillusion, time of despair. When we take meditation time and we are able to encourage what? Ourselves, so we can go out and still deal with the things that we have to deal with called life on a daily basis. But if you don't take the time to get in a daily practice of meditation, words spoken of, prayer, to reassure yourself, to build yourself on affirmations, then you don't have anything to grasp from within. So you will try to go to others to get this, but they can't give what your higher self can give back to you. But that takes time to take time with your inner self to develop that. And also, too, when you come here on a daily basis, you're getting a daily dose of something to pour back into yourself. Okay, so this is a very valid point, because we go through disappointment, but we can overcome disappointment in ourselves when we have something to reach to from within ourselves. All right, so for today, this 16th in our astrological forecast, there's the same energy from yesterday, Tuesday and Wednesday, that will continue to flow. But later on in tonight, when the moon enters Gemini, where she will remain, the moon will remain through Friday the 17th, we are more inclined to communicate how we are feeling. We're going to write things out in our journals. This is why I say journal. Okay. I'm going to show you something. When I'm out and about, I'm always pulling journals. I'm just one of those. You see this? It says choose happy. That's another journal that I had picked up early this morning. I'm always writing things out. So this is something I encourage you every day to write. So not on the phone, take a pen and paper and write it out. So journaling, or reaching out to have conversations with people we haven't been in touch with for a while that genuinely care about you, all because we must express how we feel through our words. All right. So all of this is due to Mercury trine Neptune on the 15th, which was yesterday, and then the moon in Gemini tonight. And then it's going to flow through a couple of next days with the moon going into Gemini. All right. So that's our astrological forecast for today. Always go to the blog at ecilpticspiritualist7@blogspot.com, where you will see a more in-depth written overview of this week's forecast. Okay. So in saying that, don't forget to click that wiggly bell down below. Ding dong ding, to make sure you're getting the daily fresh tarot card reading, the daily dose that I come to you on a daily basis, sharing in our spirit tribe here. And ask yourself, why am I coming here? Comment down below and let me know. This is why I'm coming every day, Ecliptic Spiritualist. Make a comment down below. If you don't have written words, put in an emoji. I love to see that. Okay, so make sure that you're getting your intuitive readings that would change your life. Also, too, and save a life. You can do it for yourself or a family member. Also, too, don't forget that we offer conjure work that would change your life in multiple areas of your life, because we have earthly situations that we deal with on an ongoing basis. Don't forget that we offer reading diagnostic consultations, meaning spiritual coach, a spiritual counselor that will change your life and help guide you through this journey. You're a spiritual being living in a human experience. So what will you do today to overcome disappointment in any area of your life? Or what will you do today to give a word of encouragement for someone else that may come to you that say, hey, I'm disappointed? What would you do? Will you give them this particular message today? Will you give them to lead them to giving them an example of a person that went through disappointment? Or can you give an example in your own life that brought you where you experienced disappointment, despair, disillusion, and how did you overcome that? So we all have that in our lives, but we can use that disappointment, as we are saying today, as a stepping stone to be able to deal with any other disappointment or despair that will come into our life. How do we navigate through this thing called life in a proper way? And that is meditation, word spoken prayer time, daily building yourself up on a daily basis of your higher self so that you can have assurance in yourself. All right. So I love you for watching today. Don't forget to dig deep and trust in yourself first. Always click the description box so that you can see what's going on. We've had a lot going on this week, so keep in mind we got some other great things coming up next week with the new moon. We got Mercury in retrograde coming in, so we're going to be doing an altar work with that. Those that are affected, when they're affected by Mercury, you may not even know you're affected by Mercury. We're going to do a video on that as well. So I love you very much. Don't forget to trust and believe in yourself first. Change a pattern, tell a story, contact me for readings so that you can be able to navigate properly through this thing called life. And don't sit and wallow in despair. Get on and read, build yourself up, switch your life so that you can have a successful one on a daily basis. All right. See you next time. Bye-bye.